Hello, hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, teacher.
Good afternoon, Arabella, nice to see you. Maria Jose, nice to see you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let me, no.
Teacher.
Okay, good afternoon. Yes,
Good
can you hear
afternoon,
me?
teacher. I have a petition for you before I start this class.
It's about,
This is about my homework. I
okay,
say,
at the end, Arabella, at the end,
okay,
everything that has to do with homework, this is
yes,
in personal way, okay?
okay.
So, well, good afternoon, everyone. Be welcome to this week number 7. As you know, this week is basically the last week of the first semester because next week is just basically to give you some guidelines to take the first semester test. Please, I want to remark in that the test of the first semester is mandatory. Okay. Because last semester I had the problem that some students did not take this test, and that's why they were not allowed then to take the final test. So please prevent this, organize your time so you can participate actively in this first semester evaluation. Okay. Well, next week, of course, I will give you some guidelines that you have to follow for this evaluation so you can be ready to take it. Okay. If you have any questions about the homework, please at the end. Okay. All right, so now let's go to the last topic that we have for this first semester, which is something that we actually analyzed in the video collaboration because some of your classmates presented this topic. However, as you know, today we have this topic as a way to practice also for the interview. The same way as we did last week, we're going to watch a very short video and then I will ask you some questions based on it. Please don't forget that for this interview, you have to take notes so you can get some ideas to include in your answers. Okay, it's important to practice your listening skills. So because as I told you in the real interview, you will be allowed to listen only once. So it's important to start practicing considering the same guideline. Okay, so let me go to the presentation so we can begin. Can you see the presentation?
Yes.
Can you see the presentation? Okay, thank you, Yasmin.
Yes, we do.
Okay, so we have another topic of unit number 1, which is technology in the EFL classroom. This topic is pretty interesting because nowadays, as you know, everything around us has to do with technology. We have technology everywhere. So it's important to have some guidelines on the use of technology and the correct use of technology. And even more nowadays that we also have artificial intelligence, which in the past didn't exist, as you know. So of course, in the past, technology was very important. And now I think it's even more important because we need to know how to use these different tools in a wisely manner, right? So today I'm gonna listen to your reflections and of course, based also on this video. So let me know, please, if you can listen. Let's try to do it only once, okay? To say how you would do in the interview. Can you listen?
Technology has revolutionized how we learn and teach English as a foreign language. Gone are the days of relying solely on textbooks. Digital tools now offer myriad opportunities for educators and learners. From apps to virtual reality, technology opens new avenues for language acquisition. Integrating technology enhances engagement and provides personalized learning experiences. The integration of technology into education, and specifically EFL, has a rich and evolving history. In the early days, language labs equipped with audio cassette players and headphones represented a significant technological leap forward. Learners could listen to recordings of native speakers and practice their pronunciation in a controlled environment. With the advent of personal computers, computer-assisted language learning, or CALL, emerged as a transformative force in EFL. CALL software provided interactive exercises, grammar explanations, and vocabulary drills, allowing learners to progress at their own pace. The rise of the Internet and the World Wide Web in the late 20th century ushered in a new era of connectivity and access to information. For EFL learners, this meant unprecedented access to authentic language materials, online dictionaries, and communication tools. Today, the landscape of technology in EFL continues to evolve at an unprecedented pace. Mobile devices, interactive whiteboards, virtual reality, and artificial intelligence are transforming the way languages are taught and learned. The integration of technology in EFL offers a plethora of advantages for both educators and learners. One of the most significant benefits is enhanced learner engagement. Digital tools and platforms with their interactive features, multimedia content, and gamified elements make language learning more stimulating and enjoyable. Learners are more likely to stay motivated and engaged when they are actively involved in the learning process. Moreover, technology facilitates access to a wealth of authentic materials that were previously difficult or impossible to obtain. Learners can access news articles, videos, podcasts, and social media content from English-speaking countries, exposing them to real-life language use. Technology also provides opportunities for personalized learning experiences. Language learning apps and platforms often incorporate adaptive learning algorithms that adjust the difficulty level and content based on the learner's progress. This individualized approach ensures that learners are challenged appropriately and can progress at their own pace. Section 4 Tools and Technologies, a diverse toolkit for language acquisition. The EFL classroom today boasts a diverse and ever-expanding toolkit of technological resources. Traditional tools such as digital dictionaries and online thesauruses provide quick and easy access to vocabulary definitions, synonyms, and example sentences. Language learning apps like Duolingo, Babbel, and Memrise have gained immense popularity in recent years. These apps utilize gamified elements, spaced repetition, and personalized learning paths to make language acquisition fun and engaging. Interactive whiteboards and projectors have transformed the traditional classroom into a dynamic learning environment. Educators can display multimedia content, create interactive exercises, and facilitate collaborative activities. Online platforms such as Google Classroom, Moodle, and Edmodo provide virtual learning spaces where teachers can share materials, assign tasks, and communicate with students. Section 5. Challenges and Opportunities. Navigating the Digital Divide in EFL. The potential of technology in EFL is undeniable, but challenges like the digital divide must be addressed. The digital divide refers to the gap between those with access to technology and those without. Adequate teacher training and support are essential. Digital literacy skills are crucial for success in the 21st century learning environment.
Okay, so how was it? Did you get to take some notes? Yes, perfect. Okay, so I know that some students joined late, so I'm not sure if I have to replay it because of this. Ronnie, please try to be on time next week, please. It's important so you can be, at the same step as your classmates. And the same for Blanca, okay? Okay, so because of this, let's watch it once more. Something important that I would like to emphasize. In the interview, not all the videos will have like these, I forgot the name,
Subtitles?
the subtitles, exactly. Thank you, Maria Jose. The subtitles, okay? So be careful with this. Don't trust only on what you can read because, the idea is that you can listen or you can improve your listening skills. You can show your listening skills, okay? So be careful with this. For these practices, we're doing it this way. However, in some other, practices in the second bimester, and we have other types of videos in which you have just to listen, okay? So let's now go to this. So please, Ronnie and Blanca, try to take notes so you can then participate in the reflection questions.
Technology has revolutionized how we learn and teach English as a foreign language. Gone are the days of relying solely on textbooks. Digital tools now offer myriad opportunities for educators and learners. From apps to virtual reality, technology opens new avenues for language acquisition. Integrating technology enhances engagement and provides personalized learning experiences. The integration of technology into education, and specifically EFL, has a rich and evolving history. In the early days, language labs equipped with audio cassette players and headphones represented a significant technological leap forward. Learners could listen to recordings of native speakers and practice their pronunciation in a controlled environment. With the advent of personal computers, computer-assisted language learning, or CALL, emerged as a transformative force in EFL. CALL software provided interactive exercises, grammar explanations, and vocabulary drills, allowing learners to progress at their own pace. The rise of the Internet and the World Wide Web in the late 20th century ushered in a new era of connectivity and access to information. For EFL learners, this meant unprecedented access to authentic language materials, online dictionaries, and communication tools. Today, the landscape of technology in EFL continues to evolve at an unprecedented pace. Mobile devices, interactive whiteboards, virtual reality, and artificial intelligence are transforming the way languages are taught and learned. The integration of technology in EFL offers a plethora of advantages for both educators and learners. One of the most significant benefits is enhanced learner engagement. Digital tools and platforms with their interactive features, multimedia content, and gamified elements make language learning more stimulating and enjoyable. Learners are more likely to stay motivated and engaged when they are actively involved in the learning process. Moreover, technology facilitates access to a wealth of authentic materials that were previously difficult or impossible to obtain. Learners can access news articles, videos, podcasts, and social media content from English-speaking countries, exposing them to real-life language use. Technology also provides opportunities for personalized learning experiences. Language learning apps and platforms often incorporate adaptive learning algorithms that adjust the difficulty level and content based on the learner's progress. This individualized approach ensures that learners are challenged appropriately and can progress at their own pace. Section 4, Tools and Technologies, a diverse toolkit for language acquisition. The EFL classroom today boasts a diverse and ever-expanding toolkit of technological resources. Traditional tools such as digital dictionaries and online thesauruses provide quick and easy access to vocabulary definitions, synonyms, and example sentences. Language learning apps like Duolingo, Babbel, and Memrise have gained immense popularity in recent years. These apps utilize gamified elements, spaced repetition, and personalized learning paths to make language acquisition fun and engaging. Interactive whiteboards and projectors have transformed the traditional classroom into a dynamic learning environment. Educators can display multimedia content, create interactive exercises, and facilitate collaborative activities. Online platforms such as Google Classroom, Moodle, and Edmodo provide virtual learning spaces where teachers can share materials, assign tasks, and communicate with students. Section 5, Challenges and Opportunities, Navigating the Digital Divide in EFL. The potential of technology in EFL is undeniable, but challenges like the digital divide must be addressed. The digital divide refers to the gap between those with access to technology and those without. Adequate teacher training and support are essential. Digital literacy skills are crucial for success in the 21st century learning environment.
Okay, so I think now it is more than enough. Yep. So, well, as you can see in this video, we had like the evolution of the use of technology in the classroom. If some of you were in these times, in 1990s, where in the English teacher usually had like the CD player everywhere around, in the school, trying to make us practice listening skills, and now how it has changed so much in the EFL classroom. So let's go to the discussion question so you can tell me your ideas. The first question: how do you think technology has changed the role of teachers and students in the EFL classroom? So how has it changed? Because in the video you could see the evolution, the changes that we have passed through. So, Maria Jose, tell us, please.
Sorry, teacher. I'm with my little daughter. Okay.
Okay.
Nowadays, technology changed our classrooms a lot, especially because nowadays our students are the protagonists in the classes. So we might be focused on this. We might try to engage them, and they use technology all the time. So we might catch them using technology, of course. And as a teachers, it changed our minds because we need to think in what our students like and what they are going to how they are going to be good in our classes and how they are going to be connect with us. I mean, if they like, for example, nowadays, Roblox is a famous game with the little ones. So if we can search with IA a game, or we can connect with them with these kind of games involved with vocabulary or grammar, it could be the perfect class for us.
Okay, good. Thank you very much, Maria Jose. Yeah, it is true. It has changed a lot. And of course, we have to consider our students' interest, because nowadays they love using technology in the classroom. Of course, it is not always possible. However, if we can use any technological tool that can be for, learning purposes, then we have to try it at least. And yeah, well, then I'm going to ask you about some tools that you might use in your classroom. So now let's listen to Ronnie, please.
Yeah, teacher and classmate, thank you for the opportunity. Yeah, well, we have to focus is in the question you say about the technology. Technology has changed the role of the teachers, of course, because we need to change our mind, and we need to take opportunities to give or learn new techniques and new strategies for our students in the classroom. Yeah, I think it's the best tool that we have right now with our students, because we motivate and engage, and they get a lot of fun with them. So, and we can play and learn a lot of vocabulary and grammar. It's easy instrument right now in this moment for us. I think this is I can say for my experience.
Okay, thank you, Ronnie. Yeah, well, as we have said, technology has changed many things, and of course, the important thing in this question, if you consider, is the role of teachers. So, as Maria Jose also mentioned, the teacher is not the main one in the classroom nowadays. It is not like in the past, where the teacher came to the classroom and spoke the whole class and just gave lectures, right? That is not the role of the teacher anymore. So the role of the teacher now is to be the guide, just to be the person who who give these guidelines to students, but they are the ones who have to be the center of instruction, even when we use technology. So all the resources that we use have to be with that purpose of having student as the center of instruction. Okay, thank you very much to these two students. Now let me go to the next question. What are some potential challenges when integrating technology into EFL teaching, and how can they be addressed? Let's consider the environment that we have in our Ecuadorian context. So what are the potential challenges that we face in EFL classrooms? Jasmani, please.
Good afternoon, teacher and classmates. Well, the the possible challenges that we can appreciate in our context maybe is the lack of resources in some public institutions. Is the first. Second, the lack of opportunities that teachers, most of them, they don't have the training to use proper that tools. Additionally, when we try to implement technology in our classrooms, most of the time our students don't know how to use that tools because they have a lot of resources, they have a lot of material that they can use, but they can't discriminate what is most useful for them. Additionally, technology can be a distractor in their classes. If we don't provide some guidelines that they need to follow to monitor that our students don't be distracted during the class, they can do whatever they want. So we need to control that part. Additionally, we as a future English teachers, we need to be aware that we need to train about how to use technology and also how can implement in our classes.
Okay, thank you very much, Jasmani. You mentioned 4 very real challenges, right? The 4 of them are real challenges that we have in the upper classroom, especially in Latin American countries, I would say. But don't forget that this question integrates 2 things, 2 questions. How can they be addressed? So when you mentioned the lack of resources, so how will you address that specific challenge for the real interview? I mean, be careful with the question because sometimes in the question you have 2 sub-questions. Okay, so try to listen to the first one and then try to take notes about the second one so you have, a clear picture about what is expected from you in these answers. Okay. Thank you, Jasmani. Silvana, would you like to expand?
Okay, good afternoon, sorry.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, teacher. Regarding this question, as my classmate stated, one of the challenges could be the accessibility to this technology. We know that there are some institutions that doesn't have access to internet or other resources that could be really useful in classes. And also, there are teachers that don't have the knowledge about those resources. I consider that the first thing that we as a teacher can do to work on this challenge is first make
So what suggestion
an assessment or a diagnose on this first, on diagnose on ourselves to notice this this lack of literacy and try to watch for learning programs on these resources. And next, the diagnose on the students and the institution, because if we take these programs, but if we don't have the resources, it would be complicated to implement those. But probably we can adapt those resources. Probably we can use or whiteboard in a different way. We can use or speakers or computers. Well, we need to know what we have in order to implement the new techniques that we observe on internet.
Okay, thank you very much, Silvana, for your contribution. And of course, one of the biggest challenges, as both of you said, is the lack of resources. And as you know, it's a huge challenge because I think that sometimes we can do almost nothing in the classroom. At least we don't want to give our own money to, to get resources, of course, because that is impossible. But if the institution is lucky enough to have like the English laboratory or, a computing room, then it's a good idea also to have students and, use these resources that they have available. Or if maybe you have a projector that maybe, of course, maybe the whole institution uses the same projector and then you have to, to book it and stuff. But of course, as EFL teachers, we need to look for ways to try to implement it in the classroom. Not to say, okay, this is impossible to be done. No, okay, what else can I do if I do not have technology for everyone in the classroom? What can I do instead? Right? Maybe I can use my own phone and try, I don't know, to have them close, to get them close to me and to show them a video, or maybe to make them work in groups and then pass the video to everyone so they can watch it. So what I can do, that is a question that I invite you to reflect on, because this might be also as part of the interview, okay? And I'm sure that they will be very interested in learning your opinions. Arabella, help me with the next question, please, because we have to pass. Can you share an example of a specific technology or tool that has been particularly effective for your language learning? You as a user, not as a teacher, but a tool that you have used to learn the language. And why do you think it worked well?
Okay. In my case, in my experience, I worked with many platforms. Now on the internet, there are many free platforms. One of them is British Council. This is for levels. I think this is a good platform. This is from elementary to school to level A1, A2, B1, B2. This is incredible. This other technological tool, Duolingo for children. Yes, this is good for students.
Okay, Arabella, and for all of you, of course, because this is a way also to give you feedback, because this is what you will find in the interview. Don't forget as well, in this question, you have two questions. Okay, the first one is what tool you have used, and the other one is why do you think it worked well? So here you have to justify why do you consider this tool was useful for your own learning. Don't forget that the question was not about you as a teacher, or not you using it in your EFL classroom, but you're using this tool as language learner. Okay, so try to keep focused on this question. What is the core of the question? Okay, be careful with this. Thank you, Arabella. Brian?
Good afternoon, teacher. Good afternoon, everyone. So I think that the most important technology that we use every day is the phone. So in my case, the phone is the best technology that we use the most of the day. So why this technology work? Because this technology work with different tools. Like the majority of the time we are scrolling on TikTok. We can learn in this app or in an app. So the technology is very essential because we use it in different times of the day, or when we are at work or with friends, or anytime we always take our phone and scrolling something on that. So this work
Okay.
me because I use it. I use my phone in English, or I see anywhere in English or anything in English. So I think it's a good technology to use.
Okay, I was going to ask you that, because if you're, looking your TikTok, but it is in Spanish, it doesn't make sense because it's not actually helping you to learn the language, right? So if you have everything in English, maybe that could help, of course. But it depends, of course, on the language that you use, because you can, I don't know, if you have, these social pages, the social media, then you can use it, but in English. Try to post in English. Try to listen and to consume content in English. Otherwise, it is not going to help you for your language learning. That would be just as a way to I don't know, to spend your free time, but not to learn, right? So it depends on how you use it, of course. Good. And let me move to the next question. In your opinion, how can technology be used to personalize language learning experiences in the EFL classroom? In your opinion, this was not in the video, so I'm just asking your opinion about this topic. How can technology be used to personalize? This is the core idea, to personalize language learning experiences in the EFL classrooms. Who would like to answer to this question? Let's see who hasn't. Blanca, would you like to contribute with your ideas, please? Blanca?
Hello, do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, in my opinion,
Mhm.
technology can adapt activities for the learners in the classroom with, for example, in platforms, for example, these activities can be personalized with, for example, if the learners need to help in the vocabulary, for example, the teacher can use Duolingo, for example, use Duolingo in the classroom for reinforce or for the activities in this skill.
Okay. Okay, so it's important to try to give more ideas, more examples to illustrate your points of view. And yeah, well, you gave one example, but it's important also to try to provide more justification on these tools that you're recommending. Maria Jose, I think you'd like to expand.
Yes, teacher. Well, in my opinion, we can personalize our classes based on our students' preferences. As I said before, we can use the things that they like. We can use songs, we can use games, and we can combine with traditional activities. I mean, for example, if we are talking about grammar, if we are learning grammar, teaching grammar, sorry, we can combine a digital source online, and then they have to unscramble the sentences or something like this. And of course, we have to first know our students, because if we know them, we can adapt and we can personalize our classes.
Good. Thank you, Maria Jose. Yes, and of course, use a variety of strategies in the classroom. Because, in the classroom, we usually have a heterogeneous group. Some students also have different preferences. Some students like to use more visual aids. Some other students prefer to listen. Some other students prefer to have kinesthetic experiences, like to touch something or feel something. So we need to have a varied use of strategies. Don't be attached to only one strategy in your class. Try to have at least 3 different strategies so it can cover all your students' interests, okay, and of course learning styles. And let's go to the last question, which is I think it's one of the most important questions that I would like to ask you today. Do you believe that technology can replace traditional teaching methods in EFL classrooms, or should it be complemented? And why? Do you think that technology can replace traditional teaching? It means can replace the teacher that we have in the classroom or the methods that we have used so far, or it should be just a complement? Arabella.
Okay. I believe that technology should complement traditional teaching methods because technology is good, is a good resource. The classes are more interactive. Students have access to online videos, online resources, but traditional classes teachers provide feedback to students in traditional class, teachers have mass interaction with the students.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Arabella. So you say that they should be a complement in your classroom, not to replace, let's say, the teacher. Okay. Let's see what Alexa thinks about it.
Okay, I believe technology should complement traditional teaching methods rather than replace them completely in EFL classrooms because both approaches contribute to effective language learning in different ways. Tools such as YouTube, Google Classroom, and Kahoot provide students with interactive and authentic opportunities to practice English. For instance, learners can watch YouTube videos with subtitles to improve listening comprehension, complete assignments through Google Classroom, or review vocabulary using quizzes on Kahoot. However, traditional classroom activities such as debates, role plays, and face-to-face discussions remain essential because they help students develop real communication and social interaction skills.
Good, very good. Thank you very much, Alexa. Of course, and I think all of us actually agree on this question. The idea is not to replace the teacher. The idea is not to replace the methods that we have used. The idea is to just try to improve our own teaching by adapting new teaching methods, like, learning to use artificial intelligence, for example. How can we use AI to help our students improve their knowledge, not to replace their thinking skills, but to use them wisely, to use all these tools wisely so they can take all the advantages from these tools without replacing the methods that we already have proven that they work in the classroom, right? Good. So this is just a general reflection, of course. This is just wrap up the last topic that we have. Thank you very much, Ronnie. I'm sorry for not giving you the word this time, but we are, we need to check the answers for the last context. So because of the time, let's go to the next activity, okay? Don't forget, please, to continue practicing your listening skills. I hope that during the second bimester, the practices that we do here in the tutorials, you will not need longer than once, to listen only once, okay? As we have in the real test. Okay, so now we have the context of week 6, no unit, week 6, which is about cultural diversity, awareness, and teaching, a study in an EFL context. Did you read this context and did you complete it? Yes? No? Did you do it?
Yes.
Sure. Sure. I want you to be honest because it doesn't make sense to just show you the answers if you didn't, because this is for you to practice. So it doesn't make sense just to show you the answers if you didn't do it actually. So did you complete this one? Because if you didn't, it's okay. We can do it next week. Arabella, did you work on it?
Teacher, no, I read the week number 7, number 6, no.
Okay, don't forget that we are 1 week behind. So the week 6 has to be read, and then in week 7 we will discuss, we will check the answers.
Yes,
the same for next week. Okay.
In my case, teacher, I was focused on the video.
You were focused on the video.
Yeah, the
Okay.
homework that I had to do.
Okay, I understand this because you have to present the homework until this Sunday. Was it this Sunday? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I have many other courses, so I'm a bit confused. So I will discuss these answers next week, okay? Because I really need you to do this in advance and also to tell me the time that you are taking to read the context and work on the questions to see how we're doing, with the practice for the final test, okay? So these are the questions, but we will check the answers to these questions next week, okay? Well, you said you had some questions about the homework, so please let me know about them.
Teacher, I was working on a presentation and I will ask if you could check if I'm in a real way, if I'm okay. Could you check it?
You just have to check, please, the guidelines. The activities are not checked in advance, so please just make sure that you follow the guidelines as they were explained last week. Okay, so all the instructions were explained. You were given details about what you have to do, so I trust that you will catch all of these ideas to put them in your video. Okay, so try to just follow the guidelines. Arabella, I think you had a question that you told me at the beginning.
Yes, teacher. Yes.
Mhm.
I have about my homework.
Mhm.
I sent my homework on time, but the YouTube platform eliminate my video.
Oh, this is about the last, you mean the supplementary activity?
The supplementary activity. Yes.
Okay, give me just a second. So as this is not for all of your classmates because they have nothing to do, with this assignment. So let me finish with the rest so you can stay to see what happened in your case with this specific assignment. Okay. So is there any other questions maybe about the task? No? Okay, so if no questions, thank you very much for attending today. Hope to see you next Wednesday so we can discuss these guidelines to take the first bimester exam and to give you some guidelines to work on the second bimester, okay? So thank you very much and see you next week. Don't forget to complete the context, please.
Thank you,
Bye-bye,
teacher.
everyone.
Take care.
Bye-bye. Take care, you too.
Teacher, take care.
Bye-bye,
Sure.
everyone.
Bye.